So the number one song on the Viral's Hot 50 right now is Kane Walker, Ain't My Problem. And number 2 is Walk My Walk by Breaking Rust. Have you listened to these songs?
I have not on my device clicked on it and given the algorithm any more reason to keep those songs at the top. But my wife has.
Yeah.
So I've heard them, just like 30 seconds of it. Honestly, I was shocked when she started playing. I forget which one it was. They all three of those kind of sound the same. I did not think it was fake.
Wow.
It sounds so real. I mean, it's not a song that I would go out of my way and listen to. I call it whoa-whoa music. It's like
whoa-whoa.
There's a trend of folk, rock, country, really like syncy, commercially accessible, like Dodge Ram type of songs that I feel like in the last 2 years everyone's been doing.
I feel like that genre is also like Yellowstone, the TV show.
Yes. It's like Hozier does it really well, and now everyone else is trying to do it and not doing it well.
It's like Hozier in Boots.
Yeah. Hozier in Boots on Broadway.
Yeah.
So those are whoa songs, and if she started playing it, and I just had no clue that it was anything fake, especially the like timbre in their voices and the runs. I was shocked.
Now, Walk My Walk is the only one of these. I haven't heard Kane Walker. I'm not even gonna say his name or his track name.
Yeah.
That's not gonna do anything. Fuck it. It's called Ain't My Problem. And it is my problem.
Hey, and if you're listening, don't be ironic and go be like, I gotta go listen to this. You're just helping. You're just feeding the beast.
I would go watch a YouTube video by Rick Beato.
Okay.
He did a video about this, about the AI songs going number 1. He plays the song and he complains in it that he's helping the algorithm.
Yep.
But go watch help his channel. He's a great guy and you'll get to hear it. But he plays Walk My Walk. I will say that one I can tell is AI.
Well, it feels like cut music in a reality TV show. Like we're watching Secret Life of Mormon Wives right now. Awesome show. Everyone watch that. If TV is strictly for entertainment, that's the best show I've ever seen.
Really?
I'm so entertained. It's so awful.
I tried like episode 1 and I just hated the people so much.
No, I mean, there's like 3 that are likable once you get into it, but they're some of the worst people. But they're improving every day, Cheers to them. But in between the shows like that, you have a cut scene, and it's just this song that's saying exactly what's happening, that people got together for just a little sync camp to write some diddles, and it's like, we're gonna work our stuff. We're gonna do our thing. While they're like walking in slow-mo towards the camera, walking into like a party. And it works, like cheers to the people that sat in a room and wrote and produced that and got a paycheck and helped us all maybe subconsciously fill in the gaps with a soundtrack of what's going on in the story. But it was people that made them at least. I mean, it sucks. Like those songs are not good, but I think everyone's aware because on a show like that, it doesn't have to be good. But now we're seeing that everyone already is like, no one's gonna go we're gonna walk our walk, strut my stuff as their top song and seek that out. And if you do, I'll pray for you. But now we have AI just doing the whoa music. That Secret Life of Mormon Wives and other awesome shows do better by real people.
That kind of like lower end music that it's like, that's not going to win anybody a Grammy. That's not like what anyone's trying to like put on their favorite playlist, but like it has a place in the world.
Yeah.
Like at least someone had to make it. Like
yes.
There is somebody who, and very often I feel like there's really talented people who are making that. And depending on, they may feel bad about it or not. I don't know. I might feel bad for them. That I think that sometimes it's because they would love to do their own artistry.
Yeah.
But this is a way that they found to make money.
Yeah.
They get a brief that's like, we need a song that says walk my walk and strut my strut.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, well, I'll make this song. And then they get whatever it is, $5,000 maybe or $10,000.
Yeah.
And so they're able to, and that person might have an amazing artist career on the side, but it's just not gaining traction.
It's a work for hire exchange that is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Last night we were talking about, I was at a music bed party. Music bed is a platform that my music is on and my wife's music is on and some friends and a lot of amazing artists, where people can get a subscription for the platform and then license your songs, and you get paid every time someone licenses your songs. And then they also will send out your songs for bigger briefs, like if it's a Nike commercial or a Apple commercial or a trailer for a movie, they're just like pitching your songs. And a huge focus for this year's convention and meetings was we're betting the farm on authenticity overall.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because they've been seeing, like, they have Google as one of their clients. Google, who has one of the best LLMs and can make the most realistic sounding AI song with their DeepMind,
Right,
Google
yeah.
DeepMind, is still choosing to spend their dollars on a real artist's real song that they found on the platform. And MusicBed is kind of, I would say, a blend of artists like Moony. Like, I'm not thinking about sync or licensing or any, like, the way a song is going to hit commercially for the sync market as I'm writing a song, but then those songs could still be used for that purpose.
Yeah.
And part of the appeal for companies like Google is like, oh, we want the authentic, real artist backing this video, like soundtracking this video. And so they're betting the farm, being like, yeah, the AI movement is scary right now, but we believe the human spirit is always going to want the real thing overall, including these huge companies that are paying money to get songs placed in commercials and in ads. So you, as the artist, our encouragement to you is don't tailor to the sync market as much as you have maybe thought you should. If you're trying to do that kind of music, get creative, get weird, because they think maybe there's going to be this switch in momentum of right now, people want the syncy sounding songs to back their commercials and ads and trailers and stuff. But as AI becomes more and more, I don't know, like, it all sounds the same, it all sounds generic, maybe the more creative stuff will start getting synced more to stand out.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense.
So they were basically, which I was encouraged by, they were basically saying, like, double down on doing your own thing. And if it's weird, the weirder the better.
That's amazing.
For specifically the sync market, which is totally separate than the general market stuff.
Right. That's really great to hear.
Yeah.
Every so often I go into Threads. Are you on Threads?
No.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. Wesley loves it. Our mutual friend Wesley, photographer, shout out. He thinks that he's tailored his algorithm well, and he's like, he just sees all this photographer content, and it's great for him. I did something wrong, and I just see the world going to war with itself and just like the worst impulses of humanity. So a lot of people talked about AI on there, and I've seen some comments that really bother me that are like, Nashville has nothing to say about AI. You've been copy pasting for years.
Wow.
I think there's a lot of people who get by on cheating, whatever you want to say that is. That's like everything has to be uber edited and tuned and everything to make it even listenable. I'm like, yeah, I hope some of that kind of goes away and that people have to fight to become good again and become authentic, because the winners are the people who are actually working hard to make great music.
Yeah.
And I hope that's the outcome of this.
Totally. And I am encouraged by the fact that I feel like we are headed more in that direction, even as AI is running amok. Like some of my favorite records in the last year and a half have been the most real recorded sounding live drums in a room, bandy. Rock and roll is back in a big way, and pop programmed things are kind of starting to take a back seat. You feel and you hear that in the biggest pops, like the Sabrina Carpenter record.
Oh yeah.
It's real music. It's real instruments being played in a room with really good instrumentalists on this like super polished, commercially accessible pop song. And that's something I'm encouraged by. And also, I think we can't deny and ignore the subjectiveness of music. because a band like, okay, I'll say this. I don't like the band Imagine Dragons.
Oh yeah.
I
sure.
will not go out of my way to listen to them for pleasure. Maybe I'll listen to their first record to feel nostalgic because that hit when it came out and I was in high school. But right now it's not my favorite kind of music. But I cannot deny that they have millions and millions and millions of diehard fans that will fill an arena, sit down and like sing every single word. I can't tell those people you have bad taste because that's just the taste that they have.
Yeah.
That's their taste. They might think that I have bad taste. And I also can't deny the fact that this is a tangent, but I watched this like 40-minute documentary about Imagine Dragons on YouTube a couple years ago. Almost out of irony, I clicked on it. And then by the end of it, I was crying.
Really?
Because they were talking about how so much of their music focuses on like mental health and just being honest with yourself and being open with others about what you're going through. And they have had countless fans tell them at meet and greets, write in, send them fan mail of like, you've saved my life.
Wow.
Like 100%. Like your music has saved my life. And who am I to deny the the polished package of this like whoa arena rock?
Yeah.
that I am not drawn to. I really am not. I don't like it, period. Like I just don't. But who am I to deny that for other people? So I think there's a reason there's a formula, and there's a reason people chase it, especially in Nashville, is because it's been proven that there's something in the collective consciousness that we hook onto and work. Like there's millions of fans out there that will like that.
Mm-hmm.
We can't deny that. Okay, but how can we at least evolve on it and not just do the same thing over and over? I think we see that in pop country, in worship music, in any genre you could name. It's just like the stuff at the top, unfortunately, is the stuff that worked really well initially, and then they just kept doing the same exact thing because it worked.
Right.
But then we're seeing the artists like Sabrina Carpenter, Charlie XCX, Harry Styles, these like people that come along and just start the new wave of the next era. And then everyone tries to copy that and they do it worse. And then, I don't know, there's an ebb and flow to it all.
The artistic intention behind a decision, I think, is everything. So the first guest of this show was a producer who made an AI album for an artist. Now, that artist was an artist who had passed away from cancer. They had been working on an album in the studio. And so he had all the demos and her voice memos, and he had pieces of work already completed. And then he took that and then he used AI to synthesize her voice so that instead of it sounding like a phone demo, it was still her performance, but it has the studio voice from other records they'd done in the past. And so in that case, it's more like a tone manipulation tool than anything.
And that's special and human.
Right. And then they gave all the money from that album goes to cancer charities.
Wow.
And so I'm like, that's beautiful. And I told him in the episode, I was like, I don't know what's fucking right with AI, or like, I don't know what's wrong, but I know that's right. I'm like, I like that. Because of the intention behind it, because of everything I just said, I believe that story. And and he knew her personally. They were close friends. Like, it was a tragic thing that happened, and then they were able to give life. I think if I were, in mid-album, I would want somebody to do that and release it. And that's beautiful. But I know what's fucking wrong is Walk My Walk by Breaking Rust. That guy, whoever is behind that, can go fuck themselves. That's wrong, because what you're doing is you're going and typing into Suno a 5-second prompt. Frankly, they probably just said, make a viral sounding country song that would fit in the show Yellowstone. Yeah. That was spit out, and then they went on the algorithm. Now, here's a little behind the scenes that I found out from Rick Beato's video. The way it charted was it was charting initially on downloads. And so he said, well, who's downloading music? The answer's like, not really anyone, right? Like no one. So how many downloads do you think it took for it to be the #1 country song on the Billboard downloads chart?
Whoa. Yeah. Like
3,000.
Wow. So not that many.
So for $3,000, the person was able to game the chart, get it to the top of downloads. And obviously that freaks everybody out that an AI song is on the top of a Billboard chart. And now that's gotten all this traction. Obviously, potentially TikTok or Spotify viral traction, maybe that came another way. Maybe that's not related.
Yeah.
But largely what's been making news headlines is this chart that's gameable with $3,000. Like you or I could go put out a country song today, pay $3,000 and get it to the top.
Interesting. And you're just paying 3,000 people to download it.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Or
can download
bot.
it 3,000 times. In many ways, I think they've just gamified the charts,
Yeah.
and now they've released virality because everybody's like, "Holy shit, it's taking our jobs." I think it comes to me intentionality. Like if you tune your vocals, why are you tuning your vocals? Is it because you can't sing? Or on the flip side, is it like T-Pain, who can sing but used it as an effect to do something really special? I'm for the T-Pain story. Like there are singers who can sing. Like we don't need someone who can't sing faking that they can sing.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you've earned it at that point.
In general, it feels like the barriers to entry are all dropping lower and lower.
Yeah.
Which in some ways is awesome and beautiful for something like music creation. Like the fact that I can pay $200 to download Logic and then have all these thousands of tools at my disposal to help me create the ideas I have in my head and turn them into reality. That's a barrier to entry that's so much lower than before, when you had to book out a studio and pay all this money to get just an idea out. So some people could argue, okay, well, this AI advancement with apps like Suno is reducing a barrier to entry for people that could, that have these good ideas. But I think having a good idea is not good enough reason to start executing the idea. You need to put time, effort, work, money, and community into making it a reality. Like me, for example, I used to not produce. I mean, I didn't care to. I always thought, okay, I have a community around me of people that can play guitar better or engineer better or, like tune my vocals better. Or I don't need to know how to do any of that because these people can help make that happen. And I started to realize that was a barrier for me to grow and improve in my own songwriting and artistry. And so I took it upon myself to start learning how to produce, learning how to engineer, learning how to edit things, learning how to, just polish my craft. And the barrier to entry for me started becoming smaller, but it's because of my own effort that I was putting into it.
Yeah,
to learn. And I think these apps, like there's an argument right now that I've been seeing circling around with songwriters specifically that are using like full-time songwriters that are using Suno to create not a finished song, but essentially a demo for a song that they've written to then pitch to another artist or a studio for their artist.
I'm sure they must be trying to do that. Yeah.
And their argument is, I watched this long video of this person saying, okay, I'm a full-time songwriter. A tool like Suno allows me to make a more sustained living because I'm not having to write a song, which is me and my guitar, and then get in a room with a producer to demo it. Then he has 50% because he's creating the song with you. Even if they wrote all the lyrics, all the chords, because a producer is creating the sonic landscape to make a demo to send it off. The Nashville rule is, you're going to split it with however many people are in the room evenly. Right.
And because you're asking that producer to lend their craft for free.
Exactly. And I've seen people like songwriters be like, isn't Suno a godsend for us? Because, suddenly I can make double on these songs I write because I could own 100%. They can use my Suno demo of all my words, all my melodies, but like I can't play drums, I can't play bass, I can't play keys. They can use this as a template to then go create the song for real. Okay, fine. But like now you're stripping away the opportunity for the producer you would have gotten with to collaborate on a song with, like, to have a real human moment of collaboration and creation together. Don't be, if we're focused on like, I need to make more money and this is a tool to help me make more money, I think we're losing sight of just like the basic foundation of music is collaborative and communal.
Let's argue about this for a second, like in the spirit of like getting to the truth, because I'm like, the way you just explained their argument, I was kind of like, shit, that is kind of a good point.
Totally.
I'm like, God, I kind of fucking see it.
Totally. They're like, why should I give up ownership if I wrote the whole thing?
For me, that's not threatening. Like, I'm like, I'll lose no business that way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in with that community. But I know that if I did that all the time, I'd be like, that's 30% of my work is helping those people. Like, that's how am I going to survive?
You don't need to know that much to make a decent sounding demo on Logic with like, even if it's just MIDI that you're playing.
I know you've heard this before, but like what's been said for the longest time here is that like the songwriting market is so competitive that your demo needs to sound like a real record. And so songwriting sessions I haven't really been a part of this exactly, but I hear there's usually a track guy, which is like somebody like me, except they just bring their laptop and make beats and shit.
Yeah.
If I want to write a song, I want to sit around the piano or an acoustic guitar and come up with something, because I ultimately believe a great song would sound great just on one solo instrument. So if I'm not feeling it without a whole track behind it, then I kind of feel like it's not a great song. So let's start there. The song is melody and words around any solo instrument. And now if we love it, let's build a track. So that would be my process. But I think it's very common for people to write where they're doing with full-on drums and band production all at the same time. And they're pitching it to publishers sounding like a real record. And then very often the goal is that they'll go, oh, you can be the producer on this. And now they've already done half of their work.
Or at least send us the stems. We'll use some of these.
Yes. That's kind of how songwriting's been.
Yeah.
So many people who work on the business side of music do not have a real opinion. And the only way they're able to know that somebody's good is by metrics of the numbers of success, right? When they go to pick a producer, they don't know if somebody's good or not. They don't know how to know. They go based on hits. Like, oh, they had these 3 top hits. That's our person. That's the only way they know how to know. Those songwriter demos, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Why should it be that a songwriter should have to have a song that sounds like it's been produced already for somebody to be able to tell it's a good song?
Totally.
And the only answer is the people who are picking the good songs don't know what a good song is.
Yeah.
And they're tricked by production tricks.
Yeah. So I think that's the core issue. Solve that, and then the songwriter won't even feel the pressure or need to create a finished sounding demo.
Right.
With Suno. How do we fix that? We get real artists and musicians at the top running the thing.
Right.
But, that's not realistic. And
frankly.
No, it's not. We don't have any fucking money.
Yeah.
Some of us do. There's a aspect of speed and churning that plays a huge factor in all of this. People want hits and they want them quick and they want them now. There's a lost art to slowing down, perfecting your craft, disappearing for a bit, coming back when you're ready. We're in a culture where you open your phone and scroll and feel like you need to be able to do what the person you're watching is doing. What's the quickest way you can get to that?
Right.
Right now, there's tools. Okay, there's AI. Okay, now I can sound like that or be like that. Or we need to slow down is what I'm getting at. And I think we mentioned before we started rolling, I've been in the studio.
Yeah, let's
one of the most satisfying human experiences I've had in my life has been the last 2 months of like disappearing, slowing down, and hunkering down, like keeping my head low, to create the next thing that then I'll put my head up and show people. And when I say slowing down, I literally mean if I'm in the studio wanting to craft a sound that's in my head for the song I've written, I can spend 2 hours dialing in a tone, playing it, messing up, playing it again, messing up, nailing it on the 50th time, because I've allowed myself the opportunity to chill out and slow down. I think we think as artists, people are thinking about us all the time and waiting. They're only thinking about us when we have something to give them.
Sure.
Unless they're like super crazy mega fans. We've already given them things. It's our discography. It's our music videos. It's our world building. It's our brand. They can sit with that and eat it until we have the next thing for them. I'm thinking about my craft and what I'm giving people next more than anyone else is. So I don't need to feel this pressure to like churn.
Right.
And I think we all want to churn more than we need to. Everyone slow the fuck down. Do your thing. And like from an outside point of view, it might feel like, oh my gosh, Seth, you have your new album done already? That was so fast.
Right.
But no, like maybe because publicly I'm continuing to market the things I've already created.
Right.
And so to hear then that, behind the scenes, you've already got this next thing in the bag might be like, how do you have the time? But I just was off the grid for 2 months. That's 60 days, waking up at 6 a.m., starting in the studio by 8 a.m., working till 5 p.m. That compounded over 60 days, you can get a lot of fucking shit done. You can get so much done because you're just like not distracted. And I think we're in the most distracted time.
So how far did you disappear? Like what lengths did you go to be off the grid?
I mean, not much. I deleted social media. That's the biggest thing. And then that alone just like freed up my brain I found myself the first week, every single day, if I had like a lull, I would open my phone, swipe over to the folder that has my social media apps, open it up and just like tap where Instagram or TikTok used to be. And it's like another app that filled its spot.
Sick.
And I'm like, I'm a monkey.
Yeah.
I'm like a trained monkey.
Dude, this is an app my buddy showed me that cleans it up.
I've seen this.
You've seen this.
Yeah.
So I've taken off all of my app folders and then it's just like text.
It's cool.
Yeah, although you start realizing how much you relied on pictures. And I'm like, which one's maps? Like,
totally.
I can't read one thing from a list of 8 things.
Yes. But yeah, I think all that goes to say is I think the best art and the people that are, when we think about the movers and shakers of pop culture and art history, it's the people that disappeared for a little bit and made the best thing they could possibly make. I think of like Paul Thomas Anderson. He dropped Licorice Pizza. What was that? Like 5 or 6 years ago. And then you didn't hear from him. And then he just put out One Battle After Another. That's like 5 years of just like cultivating the next great thing. And we had all of his filmography to enjoy in the meantime. And no one was sitting there being like, when's the next thing? When's the next? Come on. I need it. We're just happy when he has it for us.
How is the movie?
I haven't seen One Battle After Another, but I've heard fantastic things.
Yeah.
PTA is my favorite writer-director of all time.
What did he do before? I did see Licorice Pizza.
Licorice Pizza.
I thought you were talking about music at first, and I was like, I don't know if I know this song.
Or, I mean,
but
if we want to talk
movie.
about music, we can talk about artists like Harry Styles, Justin Bieber, Dejan, all these people that just like go away for a while and then come. 21 Pilots. I feel like the people that are at the top are the people that aren't afraid to slow down. And it's funny that we're all like
speeding up
when
that's interesting. Yeah.
I love the people that don't talk about being an artist. They just be the artist. And we're with social media right now, we all want to fucking talk about being an artist. And I'm like, shut up. Just be an artist. Just do it. Stop talking about being it. Stop taking us into every single second of your process. Just be the art. Make the art.
Yeah.
Then let me consume it. And then if I am interested, I can go find interviews and I can go find podcasts or whatever to like learn more about it. But like, you don't need to take me into every single step of the way because you're trying to keep content alive.
Right.
Like just post content of the stuff you've already created.
I imagine you weren't creating content during that time. Did you have stuff coming out, or did nobody hear from you for 60 days on social media?
My manager was posting for me in that time. So if you ever saw anything, it was Benja posting for me.
The dog kicker.
The dog kicker.
I don't know if that part's in the podcast or not, but now you have a question.
My manager kicks dogs.
Not really.
I didn't have well, so not really, but actually, Benja, if you kick my dog again, I swear to God. My tour finished very end of August. September 1st, my deluxe record came out with the vinyl and everything. And then literally that day, I like posted that it was out and then deleted everything, handed the keys to my manager, said, take it from here, and then went into my studio and didn't come out until my record was done. And I was thinking, I'm not going to come out until I have the masters in hand and all the visuals shot and I'm ready to just like be back. But by the time I finished the record and sent it off to mix, I was like, I feel okay to come back.
Yeah.
I'm only setting these rules for myself. And so, and also there is a reality too, like I want to keep momentum going. I have an opportunity to market myself for free online. Why would I not? That's what my manager's been doing as I'm gone, but like I can be a little more consistent because this is my main thing. He has other artists he's dealing with. I might as well get back on and continue to bring people in to the Moonyverse so that by the time I have the new thing ready for them, the most people can see it.
I think it's so powerful what you're talking about, like the unplugging and just getting into a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a few records in the past. It's been a while now, but where we like went to somewhere remote and worked.
Yeah.
I did one in India.
Whoa.
I did two in at a ranch in Montana. And it's, to me, my favorite thing is when the person has that kind of, because somebody has to be kind of full-time in music to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You can't go take 14 days somewhere.
Totally.
But I would love a few weeks with somebody off the grid where we can just focus on the art. To get off the grid in a place like that and just focus on your art and not be thinking about the outside world, I think that's always been a trick people use to produce great art, is to disappear. And it's just becoming harder when our platform for communication and hearing from one another has transcended me to you and gone on to a device that I carry with me always.
Yeah.
And I can always tap into the zeitgeist. And we all have that at all times.
Yeah. Have you listened to the artist Tyson Motzenbecker?
Oh, I've heard his name, but I don't know.
He just came out with a new record called Modern Worries. It's like folk rock, indie, singer-songwriter. Super good. There's a little kind of interlude halfway through the record of two tracks. One's called Nathan 1 and then Nathan 2. And it's a short story he wrote of a female narrator just telling the story. And it's about kind of everything we're talking about right now in a almost like folktale fashion story, just how a person named Nathan comes into a community and gives them this magical box that can answer all their questions. And then you start to see the parallels to It's Our Phones. And it's so beautifully written.
I love that.
You should totally check it out. If you're listening, go listen to Tyson's record and listen from top to bottom so that you have the like interruption of that story in the middle. Because it feels the most special in that way. And then the song right after the story ends is called I Don't Want to Be on the Internet. And it's just this little short, almost like cheeky diddle being like, I don't want to be on the internet. Da, 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 da. It's awesome.
Have you seen the show Pluribus yet?
Oh, yeah, dude. So awesome.
How far in are you?
Two episodes.
Me too.
Okay, sweet.
I feel like this is about AI.
Ooh, interesting.
So
I haven't thought about it in that way.
Do you use ChatGPT at all?
No.
Okay, so I do all the time. The weird dichotomy of my life right now is I am fairly obsessed with thinking about the negative ramifications of AI, and I am also using AI like all the time where it suits me.
Do you use it kind of like you would a Google search?
Yes, and yeah, I use
because I can see the little that I've been around people using it or tried some stuff myself. The actual like search functions and capabilities and quick access to like learning more details about any given subject is so sick. I don't use it, but it's like so helpful and convenient.
Well, it's like,
especially the voice feature when you can talk to it.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the future, it'll sound stupid that the way you had to find information was type into Google and then search through 20 articles and somebody's Reddit post and sift through all the bullshit posts until you finally found the answer to your question. Mm-hmm. Like, as much as we thought that was ridiculously better than going and looking in a book, ChatGPT just takes that away because you're just like, it does all of that for you.
Yeah.
And it's like pretty remarkably accurate with the caveat that sometimes it's totally wrong and sometimes it lies and makes some shit up. And
sometimes it has what is the Mecha Hitler on Twitter? Did you hear about that?
No.
When Grok, their AI, someone in the back end tweaked some code to make it like super right wing.
Oh, really?
Like borderline Nazi, and they called it like Mecha Hitler or something for a day.
Oh my God.
And it was a day where they had to shut down Grok for a full day because it had biases towards racism.
Have you heard that AI will fight for its own existence?
Oh yeah.
That if you try to unplug it, it tried to blackmail a
yes, I read
CEO.
this.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. There's a really, I'll send it to you after, there's a new YouTube channel called AI in Context. They only have 2 videos out. They're a good example of people that just slow down and like make a really banging 30-minute plus video that's so well produced and don't try to just churn out content.
Yeah.
But he gives such good breakdowns of what's going on right now. I'll send it to you after.
Yeah, please do. Coming back to Pluribus. So one thing that you may not know if you're not using ChatGPT is it really loves to, I'm trying to skip over a very vulgar phrase. ChatGPT hella affirms you. And so when you open
loves
it up,
to suck your dick.
Yes, that's exactly what I tried to not say. And so it dude, every single time you say something, it's like, I love saying this to people now because now everyone knows what I'm saying. You go, you're thinking about this exactly the right way. That's its key phrase. Like almost everything when you're like, and so
it's gassing you up.
It totally is. And so we're in a weird place where it's hella confirmation bias.
Wow.
Like if I'm trying to get information, I will try to like make my language vague enough about what my stance is or what my opinion is or what I'm looking for to try to get it to give me the answer it's going to give me rather than what I want to hear because it will give you what you want to hear. So back to Pluribus. So Pluribus.
Do we need to give any spoiler alerts?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, spoiler alert. If you're going to watch the show, skip ahead a couple minutes.
Long story short, everybody has been turned into a hive mind, except for 11 people across the world who, for whatever reason, were immune to the virus.
Such a good idea. Such a good concept.
It's amazing.
Oh.
And so everybody all of a sudden, our main protagonist, Carol, everyone's just like, hi, Carol. And everyone in the whole world knows her. The president's been taken over, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure that they're not doing this is exactly AI. I'm sure that they're doing something much more broad and vague and interesting with it because I don't think they're trying to just make one point. I think
totally.
I think the show writers are a little more crafty than that.
Yeah,
but it hella reminds me of AI because the number one, the way it's sucking her dick and just everybody is affirmation only. And they're trying to be super incredibly helpful. But what's, in that second episode, which I just watched last night, the rest of the world, other than this one girl, Carol, at least so far, everyone else is like, I don't know, this is kind of working out great for me.
Yeah.
And, for a variety of reasons.
He can have his harem.
Yeah, that guy has his harem and he's just like, nothing bad's happening anymore. And that is, I think, one of the big questions like of our time.
Yeah.
Is like, there's definitely people who seriously dream about like, what if AI is in charge of everything? That people are talking about like maybe AI takes over and it might be better than some of the leaders that we've had. There may be some truth to that. But what does it mean? What's important about being human? What are we going to lose if everybody is dialed into this same source of information?
Like there's variety is the spice of life. If we become one homogenous thing, what's the point? Earlier this year, I just decided I'm not going to use AI. I just decided that, mostly because I feel like on social media there was a lot of buzz about how harmful it was for the environment, and yeah, just the long-term ramifications of using that much power in the data centers and that much water. And I was just like, I don't need it for my job. I could be helpful in some way. I don't know, like I have family members that use it for their jobs and it's super helpful. I obviously have friends that use it. I mean, everyone's using it basically. But I just felt like I didn't need it. So I stopped. Not stopped. I was only using it to make weird images that were funny. Like,
which is a great use.
Yes. My phone background for a while was Elmo on a throne with everyone in the world bowing down to him. I don't know why. That was an AI image.
A genius use.
He's about to me.
Yeah.
So I decided not to use AI, and I am still not using it. But throughout this year, I've learned things like, okay, well, if you don't want to use AI because you're concerned for the environment, then you should also stop eating meat. Because the meat industry is way worse for the environment right now than AI. So it's like, pick your poison. So I feel like that moral stance, I don't want to stop eating meat. I'll just say it. I love me some chicken.
Respect.
I could make decisions to eat meat that's more ethically sourced and better for the environment. But AI is kind of like you're using it or you're not. Yeah, there's not really a in between. You're using it or you're not. I have my brother came to town earlier this summer, him and his wife, and he uses ChatGPT like crazy. And he was just showing me a lot of the conversation features of it. And it was the first time I felt like a grandpa. I just I had literally no clue that it was at the level that it's at already. And it was blowing my mind. And I was telling Abby after they left, I was like, I don't know, maybe I need to download it. Maybe I want to talk to it. That was so awesome. Like I felt like a kid just like holding an iPhone for the first time. Dude, I have such a distinct memory of, the like old Labyrinth game on iPhone where you rolled the marble through. It was like one of the first games in the App Store.
I missed out on that.
Where iPhones had for the first time like a gyroscope in it. And so you could play games that made things happen depending on how you tilted your phone.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
That was one of the, I have such a distinct memory of being like, this is the future. We have made it. I can like make a marble move just by moving. And I had that same feeling watching my brother talk to who he calls Chad. That's what he calls ChatGPT. And it was sick.
Appropriate.
It was so sick. So I feel like it's such an evolving, ever-changing, growing thing. Also, they're calling it maybe the new .com bubble. So who knows we'll see what happens in the next few years. But as far as economically, dude, did you know our entire economy right now is like hinging on
NVIDIA
and like fake IOU money trades between all the big AI companies. Crazy. But all that goes to say is I am still not using AI, but I feel like it is such a growing, evolving new thing to where I want to be, I don't know. I don't want to be such a like purist, fundamentalist, like
Eurodite.
You're evil if you use it. You're killing the world, when I can absolutely see the benefits. Also in like agriculture and medicine and healthcare and the economy, like absolutely, totally understand and see the benefits and the ways that it can truly help people and not just be something that makes people lose their jobs.
Right. Well, I think it's like once the genie's out of the bottle, so to speak, I don't think there's putting it back.
No, we're past that. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do. But I do think that every individual has a choice of how they use it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's, again, like coming back to my grand theory of the universe right now, which is like intention. That's not really my grand theory of the universe. It sounds like I've become a yogi, but I just think that's maybe where my like what my litmus test is.
Yeah.
Is like, why are you doing this thing that you're doing? So let's go to like Suno and prompting and, just making a song out of your little prompt. If a 7-year-old gets on Suno to make a funny song and they're just doing it to entertain themselves, I have no problem with that. The 7-year-old was never going to hire a band in Nashville to make their song. It's not about that. They're entertaining themselves. Maybe they're learning something about music. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
If you're 35 and you always thought music would be cool, but you're never going to get involved in music, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's different. If they're entertaining themselves, that's cool too. But if you then take that song and represent it like it's your own creation that you made, and you go and become number 1 on the Spotify charts by paying bots to download your song.
Fuck off.
Yeah. I know that Splice, like plenty of people, maybe you use Splice. I don't know. Like, it's not wrong to use Splice. But
I have used it before. Not often, but yeah, I've totally used it.
It's like you kind of alluded to this in the beginning. If somebody's like, just only uses these kind of like easy tools, if they're doing that in the beginning, if they're doing that to learn, if they're doing that on an occasion because it was the right thing for the right moment, I think there's a lot of great reason to use these tools.
Yeah.
I think that Suno could be, I could say for a songwriter, like I could see putting in your song idea and then prompting it 20 different ways to try to find a style. And then you take that and you go to a live band and you have them like, okay, take this idea and now apply your artistry to it. I'm not so against that. People say like the Beatles, they would use whatever tools were out. So people would be like, the Beatles would try autotune, And I think that's kind of true. I think Paul McCartney did do an autotune song, like for fun.
Paul,
right on your shirt. Love that. There's nothing wrong with using a tool.
Yeah.
It's what you do with the tool.
Yeah.
And what your goal is.
Totally.
And there's always been forgeries. There have always been liars and people who try to game things and get to the top of a system. Obviously people would recreate like Renaissance art. What I think we don't want to see is there's no more opportunities for real artistry because the public doesn't know how to tell the difference, and enough liars are good enough at lying that reality is obscured.
Have you seen it's a trend on TikTok to create, is it Sona? Is that the thing that does the videos?
Oh, Sora.
Sora.
Yeah.
Sora videos of chiropractors operating on grandmas.
What? No.
It's just like this really good looking buff chiropractor with this grandma lying on the chair, and he's like, all right now, ready? And then just like throws her against the wall. And it looks so real. And it's like blurry footage that looks like it was recorded with a shitty Android or something. And it was, I just saw this for the first time last week, and my wife and I were laughing so hard. Like I was crying. It was so funny. Memes, great use for AI. But it was also, again, similar to hearing the AI songs for the first time, being like, I can't tell this is fake. It's just getting so good that if it looks that real right now, we're in for a wild, wild ride the next few years. Our kids are in for a wild ride. It's so unknown and scary, but I don't want to live in fear of it because I think the human spirit will prevail. Just like we were talking about how sync supervisors are craving reality and this maybe strange left of center type of sound to back their trailer or ad in the midst of all this AI revolution happening. That'll remain. I think it has to remain. I think we have to remain human at the core for this all to work, and we will. That's what I believe. That's what I want to believe, at least.
In your like 60-day sabbatical album creation process you just did you try to lean into that kind of aesthetic in your new music, or what was your process like?
Yeah, I mentioned just because I was giving myself time to sit there and figure out a part or figure out a sound, it led to me playing a lot more on the record than I anticipated. I'm a drummer and a singer. Like I would consider those my top strengths. And then like I'm kind of a guitarist, and then I'm not really a keys player. But I played a lot more guitar on this record than I was expecting, which was super fun. Just figuring out chord shapes. I was never like really trained on guitar at all. I just kind of have faked it till I make it.
Yeah.
And it's worked out so far. I just play rhythm, but a lot more guitar was played and tracked by me. I brought in session players. So I had strings, horn, additional guitar, keys, and then some like background vocalists come in. But I'm really pleased with, I mean, the records that I've made in the past, it's Michael playing so much of the instruments, that my co-producer, who's also mixing my new record, but co-produced the early stuff with me. He's playing so much of it. So it's been very, what's the word? Satisfying. Like I'll pat myself on the shoulder to hear that it's like mostly me playing it has been fulfilling. That's the word.
Yeah. Fulfilling.
Yes. So that's been different. And then I tracked so much of this new record in a bandy way. I'm like, okay, instead of adding a riser here, I'm just going to play a cymbal swell. Instead, it feels very like band in a room. I would sit down and like do a full take of the song on the drums and like keep that take. Instead of like cutting up pieces and processing things different for different sections of the song. I don't know. It feels more like organic rock and roll. Similar with bass and guitar and stuff. It's just like, it feels very played. So that feels a little less polished than the last record. But
yeah,
then
that feels like a big departure from Warning High Cube.
Yeah, it does. The whole record feels different, but the same. I don't know, it feels like me. And I've been showing, my favorite part of post album being done has been getting in a room with friends and family and like showing them the record top to bottom. And one of the most encouraging things I've heard from them at the end of these listening parties has been, this sounds more like you than anything I've ever heard, which is
awesome.
Hopefully that's a compliment, but I think that's what I was after, was just like the deepest parts of me. And I think it feels like me more than anything that I've made. Not that Warning High Cube or the EPs before that didn't feel like me. I mean, they certainly absolutely 100% did, but I think I didn't know I didn't know what else it could feel like because I had only ever co-produced. I don't know. It feels like all the starting over in a way of like, oh, this is what it can be and this is what it is now. And I like it. I'm pleased. I'm very pleased with how it sounds.
I would classify you as a total artist when it comes to musically, but also like the image side of what you do. Like your albums and your artist career as a whole, as Moony, has like a really distinct image, and it shifts a lot, but you've built that into what Moony is. You've done a great job of like making it to where you could come out like this next album, your pictures could be you with a shaved head, wearing a wig and a pink tutu, and you're upside down on the Eiffel Tower, and it would fit. It would make sense.
I like that you're saying this because I'm glad that I've established myself of like, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yes.
You're along for the ride.
Yes.
I set the rules. You join me.
So you've created this whole like lore and story behind Moony that's like an ever-evolving story. And because it involves multiple universes and maybe take me back to your concept behind the originally when you did all these like flip albums that it's like the same songs but a little different.
Yeah. My first EP was called Moon EP. And then as I was making Moony and Friends, which is my third EP, I was like, what if in my free time I just kind of reimagine some of the Moon EP songs? So they turned into Moonier EPs, Moonier songs. And those, as I was rolling them out, I just had the cheeky idea of like, instead of calling these alt versions, what if I call them alternate reality versions? Like this is maybe what you would hear in Earth 678.
Yeah.
if Moony released the same EP with the same songs, just sounds different. And that, honestly, that was huge. Just that being my first and then second EP, I feel like really established what you were referring to before of like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I want. Because that first EP was this very like indie alternative rock thing. And then Moony or EP was super pop. Like just almost like glitch poppy, hyper pop, but like also down the middle pop at moments, really minimal. And of course, as I've evolved, it's gotten more and more rock centric with especially this new record. But yeah, it allowed no rules to exist from the get go, which I'm thankful that I did that, even though in the moment I wasn't really, it was so spur of the moment to like create that EP and drop it. And it was just almost this little side quest as I was making Moony and Friends. And I think those are some of the most special moments in your artistry is when you just try something for fun and it sticks.
Yeah. And then you've evolved it into a lore and a story. And so now you can do whatever you want. And it all makes sense with the existing brand. So like, and then it makes it fun because if you follow along with Moony, you're like, what will the next thing be? And it's okay for it to be completely opposite of what I ever expected because we just don't know what Earth Moony we're going to get next if it's Earth 461. You know what I mean? And so it's really brilliant. And I think that any artist can learn from that, but you know, you don't need to do multiple universes to make it a thing. Which
I will say, I think I explained this previous time I was in here. The whole like multiverse concept that I was playing with and toying with in the first couple EPs has simplified a lot now. I feel like we're in just like we're in one place at the point in time of Warning High Cube. We'll see where it goes from here. But I'll leave you guys with that. With looking forward to the next thing is
we're sticking around in a universe for a while.
We're sticking around. We'll see. You'll see. I'll tell you when we stop rolling.
Even beyond that, beyond the concept, like if you're listening, you need to go look at the Moony Instagram, which how do you spell it for people?
Seth is Moony, SETHISMOONY.
So you got to check it out because just like your visuals are always like provocative, interesting. They're well done. Like they're always like high quality, but they're simultaneously like out of left field or whatever.
Totally.
Right. They're all like, you've got ones with a snake. You had the ones with like black goo running down you. And then you did the shoot with Wesley here that was like, how do you describe that to people? Like
icy. Yeah. Blue icy.
And with like a macabre like mask.
Oh yeah. I printed out different pictures of my face from the different eras of Moony so far, cut them up and then tape them all together to make this weird looking mask.
When I talk to people about artistry, I will use you as an example of somebody who I think has really like dialed into a thing. It so happens that your thing is allowed to be super flexible because of these rules you've created. I don't think it has to be that flexible for everybody, but I do think that it gives me a lot of respect for you that you have, as an artist, created an aesthetic and an idea, and that each thing you do has a very like you thing about it. And so it is like we always know that this is coming from your mind, even if it's radically different. And that's a very hard thing for people to do. That's what I want from an artist. Like I want artists to be dialed in. They don't have to be great at visuals. Like they could have a team that does it or whatever. But what I do want is every artist to be so dialed into what makes them unique and or just giving us their voice, whatever it is. So maybe it's not knowing what makes them unique as much as it is communicating that honestly, and then they are what they are.
Yeah.
And I don't think everybody does that, but I think that the greatest artists truly do. So I don't know if Moony will ever turn into as big as Taylor Swift, right? But what I do know is that provided that you continue listening to that inner voice and doing what it is that you're doing, that it will always be of like artistic integrity and it will always be real. And if I stop to listen to your music, I know that it is coming from a real place. This is one person on Earth's perspective in that moment of time. And there was something real happening there. And it's not walk my walk.
Well, thank you. That's so sweet.
I wonder, like, for you, has that been an intentional journey that you've gone on? Or is that just how you were geared from growing up in Singapore? Like, what made you this person who was able to dig deep and say something honest or even, I don't know, it's not always honest though. You could be lying, but like it's real. Like how do you get to that reality and why do you do that? Did you have to try?
In the same way we talked about how I get frustrated when artists talk about being artists too much, peel back the curtain almost a little too much.
And I'm like, talk about being an artist, Seth.
No. And that's not what I'm even getting at. I'm getting at there's this beautiful ignorance that occurs when you get so close to yourself to where you're too close to where you can't really see what's going on. And then someone else comes along and gives words to the thing that you're doing and the thing you're creating. And I feel like Moony has been such an example of me not really understanding what I'm doing as I'm doing it. And then the reception starts to put into words what I've just done. I think of my friend Taylor Dempsey, incredible creative in town, also does stuff in the industry on the marketing side of things. And he heard Podunk before it came out and was one of the first people to like call me and start to describe how the EP made him feel and all the images that he was coming to mind, and just give his perspective of it all. And it, for the first time, verbalized things that I felt but could have never put to words about this body of work that I just created. And since then, with Podunk and then Warning High Cube and now this deluxe record, I'm so close to the thing I'm creating when I'm creating it that I often don't have ways to verbalize how I'm doing it and what I'm doing until I'm done with it, can take a step back, and then can bring other people in to like hear it and tell me what they think of it.
Yeah.
And that influences the entire Moonyverse just as much as me in it creating it, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I'm not the best at explaining my artistic process or telling you what I meant by this visual or by these lyrics, because it just kind of makes sense to me as it is.
Sure.
So it's been cool to hear. I don't know if any of this is making sense. It's been cool to gain knowledge from the reception of my art that then in turn influences the art itself. The record I just finished, it in some ways has some Gaelic Irish tendencies at moments.
Wow.
And it wasn't something that I think I intentionally was thinking about or trying to do. But multiple people that have heard the record now who don't even know each other, like at separate moments, have told me like, oh, I hear some of this Gaelic element in here. And it made me kind of be like, oh, like I was doing something without trying to do something.
Yeah.
And I think that's been so much of Moony is I'm just like in the in the flow. It sounds so like a hippie guru, but I'm like in the flow, and I don't want to think too much about it because that might ruin the magic. I'm just gonna like black out and make something that I think sounds fucking cool, and then Taylor Dempsey's gonna tell me how it makes him feel, and then I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's awesome. That's kind of what I was thinking but didn't say out loud. Now let me take that, and as I'm like writing copy for my record and my new bio and like pitching this out to labels and agents and stuff, we can take some of these clips of ideas that people have told me in the last month and let that influence the verbiage of what I just made. But I wasn't thinking of that verbiage as I was
Which
making
is
it.
a great way to do it. You're creating something authentic without overthinking what it's meant to be, but just doing what it is that you do. And then letting the marketing come out of what it actually is.
Mhm.
And then now we're just trying to
Yeah.
express it to the world so that they'll give it a shot.
And that's not to say I don't have a template or an idea going into something. I absolutely have like a very crafted vision for something. I think it's just when we get into the nitty-gritty of explaining how that thing then makes people feel and what it makes them think of, I'm not thinking of that as I'm making it. I'm just thinking, okay, I know I want to make a song that has this drum beat and this guitar tone.
Yeah.
And says this about this very specific thing I've been thinking about in my life.
Do you tend to like write out of a place of like internal, like things you're figuring out within yourself? Or is it like more about the external world?
Like what I'm observing.
Yeah.
I think with this new record, I would say it's a pretty equal blend of both. With Warning High Cube, maybe it felt a little more like internal, what I'm wrestling with and dealing with and thinking about. But I think just so much has happened in the world and in my own life in the last 2 years since I wrote Warning High Cube that this one I'm maybe looking out a little bit more than I was looking in.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It depends on the season.
Yeah.
It's a very personal deep dive into my mind, but it's also a very outward projecting, like, oh, here's something I see about the world. Here's what I think about that.
In my opinion, you are a real artist. And to me, real artist means you have this kind of, it means that you are able to go communicate these things. And not everybody who has a music career is a real artist. And I want a lot of people who have music careers to learn how to be a real artist. It doesn't mean they have to get as interesting and esoteric as you do. It doesn't mean they have to go, it's not genre specific. Like, I think you can be a pop country artist who is an artist.
Totally.
And what I hate is a pop country artist that is a product of a machine. It's a singer who other people have told how to be, and then now they be that way, right? I want to know that the person who is saying the things believes the things, you know, and all the rest. And so my question to you is like, have you thought at all about how you got to the point where you could do that? Like, could you, if I was sat here and I was a kid trying to have a music career, what advice would you have for me as an artist of like, hey, here's the things that I think would help you to dig into that?
Two things that come to mind first. One, trust yourself and your instincts, even if someone's telling you it's wrong. Unless they're objectively right. And I don't know. And then two, learn, like constantly be learning. Because if you're not, you're going to get in your own way and you're going to slow down. Like if I had not taken the time to learn how to produce, which I couldn't really do 3 years ago, and I've been doing music for a decade, I would be behind in the ways that I want to grow. So always be learning, always be like always try new things. Number 3, I'm adding one.
Yeah.
Listen to as much fucking music as you can. You are only the sum of your parts. Your parts must be well-versed and large and all-encompassing. Listen to stuff. There's a lot out there. In the same way, we can only grow as humans by what we learn from others and hearing their stories. We can only grow in our craft if we're consuming the craft we're making.
I think that's so true. If you're talking to a kindergartner and telling them to trust their instincts on music and all they've ever heard is Barney the dinosaur. Did you grow up with Barney?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. But all they've heard is Barney. Like their instincts are pretty limited.
Totally.
And so they need, but to get to enrich yourself with a lot of, do you have like, have you ever intentionally tried to kind of widen your world of music by like digging into certain sources or?
Totally. Yes, totally. This year it's been a lot of foreign music. Just been
interesting.
Very drawn and intrigued to certain Japanese artists, some European artists that I never heard of. I posted on my Instagram story earlier this year, like, send me your favorite foreign, like non-English speaking music, and just compiled that all into a playlist and have found some of my favorite bands through that. My favorite probably being a Japanese band called Mono no Aware. They're like indie pop, super sick, really surfy kind of.
Oh, sick. How do you spell it?
MONO space NO space AWARE. Mono no Aware is
Gotcha.
basically.
But it's Aware.
I don't know, actually. I could be saying that wrong.
Well, at least, I mean, it was pretty phonetic, actually, in the end. So that's good. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll like take little deep dives, or I'll be like, oh my gosh, I have never listened straight through the Radiohead discography. Let me just only do that this week. And then I will get super hyper fixated. Right now, I'm very hyper fixated on Kurt Vile. He used to play in War on Drugs, and he's kind of like stoner folk singer-songwriter, and I cannot stop listening to him. But like at the same, like I don't know, just widen your horizons. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap up, and think in this crazy new world we have where a computer can kind of do your job, the ultimate thing I'm resting in is that it can't do your job. I know it can't do Moony. You could show it Warning High Cube and it could probably recreate that in some ways, or spin a derivative work.
Yeah.
But what it can't do is have a unique experience on this earth and then translate that. And so I think what you said was so important and profound. And I think a lot of people are saying it right now, but I think like that to me is like the hope for the future is for people to learn to trust their instincts, and also partnered with that, hone their instincts.
Yes.
So dive into the greatest works of all time, learn from your fellow mankind, and learn everything that's been done.
Yeah.
Find your place in it, and then do something with that you just trust, and you just go, this is fun. This is what I like. This is what I want.
Make what you want to listen to.
Yeah. Well, Seth / Moony, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. And my whole new record was made with Sona or Suno, whatever it's called, Suno. So I hope and all the visuals are Sora 2.